So here's the thing. I never thought my family was particularly interesting. We weren't flashy. We weren't dramatic. We were the kind of people you wave to from across the street and immediately forget about once you turn the corner. That's why it threw me off when I started noticing the quiet, strange things that didn't fit. I grew up thinking my grandmother was just my grandmother. Soft-spoken silver hair, hands that always smelled faintly like lavender lotion. But when I was about 12, I found an old photograph tucked inside one of her cookbooks. It wasn't of a kitchen or some family dinner. It was of her, much younger, standing with a group of people I didn't recognize. They weren't smiling. They weren't looking at the camera. They were all staring in the same direction, towards something outside the frame. My grandma was holding something, looked like a notebook, but the photo had been folded right over it, like someone had wanted to keep that part hidden. I asked her about it once, just blurting it out at the dinner table. She didn't even look up from her plate. She just said, "Not everything in this family is for you to carry, sweetheart." And that was that. No one else at the table asked what I meant. It was like they didn't hear me at all. Fast forward to years later, I'm older, working, building a life of my own. And every family gathering starts to feel like walking into a play where everyone knows their lines but me. My uncle will start a story, then pause halfway when I enter the room. My dad always changes the subject if I ask about the past. My aunt once slipped and called me by a different name entirely, then laughed it off like she'd mixed me up with a cousin. Except, I don't have a cousin by that name. What really made me start piecing things together was after my grandmother passed. We were cleaning out her house, and in the attic, I found an old trunk. It wasn't locked, just tucked behind boxes of Christmas decorations. Inside were notebooks, dozens of them, filled with handwriting I knew was hers. But they weren't recipes. They were records, names, dates, places, pages crossed out, whole paragraphs rewritten. Sometimes my own name appeared, circled, underlined. I felt my chest tighten when I saw it. When I showed it to my dad, he didn't get angry. He just looked tired, like I had confirmed something he hoped would stay buried. He told me, "There are things about our family that sound like stories, but they're not. They're choices people made a long time ago, and we're still living with them." Then he took the notebook gently from my hands and said, "You don't need to read the rest." And yet that's the part that unsettles me most, because he was right. I didn't need to read them, but I wanted to. I wanted to know why I'd grown up feeling like an outsider in my own family, like everyone else knew a secret they couldn't tell me. The strange thing, the more I looked at those notebooks, the more I realized the mystery wasn't what my family was hiding. It was why they had worked so hard to protect me from it, like I wasn't supposed to inherit the weight they all carried, like they had chosen me to be the one who got out. And now, whenever I go to family dinners, I don't ask questions anymore. I don't try to catch people in their slips or silences. I just listen, because whatever they were, whatever they are, they made a choice to keep me in the light. And I've decided to respect that. Still, sometimes when I'm alone, I catch myself wondering, what did my grandmother see all those years ago that made her decide the story had to stop with me?